Good news, everyone! I fixed the audio problem. No you didn't. I still sound funny. Perhaps more research is required. I shall return if I find anything. No, he is not going to be the Dr. Insano of this show. So you're probably already thinking that, aren't you?
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke. Your love life's the away. It's like you're always stuck in second gear. When it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you. When the rain starts to fall, I'll be there for you. Like I've been there before. I'll be there for you. 'Cause you're there for me
When you were a kid, you might have been one of those people who just liked anything they put on television, either if it was good or bad. Thus, many of you would have liked Stuart Little, right? You know, that little movie with the cute little mouse who thought he was people. Well, I was one of those people, and today, it's just weird. There was also a book of the same name by E.B. White, written in 1945. The premise being about an anthropomorphic mouse who was born from a human. Though I don't know how that would work, unless this took place in rebirth, in which that would make him a half then. Anyway, he would go on his own little adventure involving a boat race and a bird he'd have a crush on. What's that you say? That's too controversial for a kid's film? Okay, how about we change the plot for the movie so that Stuart is an orphan? Or even better, let's put it in modern day 1999 and make it so that the plot has little to no real connection to the book other than characters and a boat race. That's what a Stuart Little movie should be like. Let's do it! So the movie opens up with our main supporting character, George Little, who's excited as hell as today they're going to adopt a new sibling.
Today. Play ball with him, I'm gonna wrestle with him, I'm gonna teach him how to spit. Remember, I want a little brother, not a big brother.
Kid, what do you think this is? The orphan market or something? You can't just pick your child like some pet and teach them things like one. You gotta get to know them and understand them so you know how they truly are like.
In the sleep, I would have caught the ball, and we would have won. Do you understand?
On second thought, maybe a simple background check will do. So as he heads off to school, the parents head to the orphanage where they see all kinds of sweet, innocent children around. But there are so many to choose from. How could they possibly pick one?
What's wonderful is how you both know what the other one is going to say before you even say it. Not that it's any of my business.
I'm sorry, but the animal shelter is just down the street. So yeah, this is our main character, Stuart, played by Michael J. Fox. Didn't he play Marty in Back to the Future? So without questioning why there's an anthropomorphic mouse around, they take a liking to him and they decide they want to adopt him.
Certain you're prepared to handle his uniqueness?
Oh my, yes.
Mr. and Mrs. Little, we try to discourage couples from adopting children outside their own species.
Why? So you can take care of them yourself? I don't see what the problem is. I mean, you've had them for years and you're afraid something might happen? I don't know how your universe works or anything, but these people seem fine with him. So they adopt him, insert title name here, as they take him home to a house that's wedged in between buildings. There he gets a good look at his relatives, and of course is greeted by the family pet.
Whoa.
Snowbell!
We do not eat family members.
Well, maybe you should have thought about that before adopting the mouse. I mean, what else did you expect from the cat? Hey Loki, look at my new pet mouse! Your dinner then. So George comes home, and I'm sure he's happy as hell to finally meet Stuart.
Really, George? This is your new brother.
You look somewhat like a mouse.
A talking mouse with human intelligence. Ah well, Sir George isn't exactly working out. But hey, at least you have your own luxury-sized bed, fit for a mouse king. I don't know if that's cute or just plain strange. And that seems to be the problem I have with this movie. Its grasp on its own reality just seems bugged. I don't know what it is, but something about Stuart's existence isn't laid out right. It's more unnatural than it is natural. There are movies and games out there that have more than just humans running around, and all of which can be explained through lore or basic human reaction. Your best bet of knowing if it's natural or not is determined by how a person can act. Big Cats Don't Dance, for example, the reason to why anthros exist is because they are a copy and paste replacement to minority races, which is all you need since everyone acts like normal in that movie. Then again, this film was written by M. Night Shyamalan. Nothing makes sense when he's at the wheel. Anyway, Snowbell, voiced by Nathan Lane by the way, comes in to warn Stuart about something.
And so, I'm way past tense. This is my family. And stay away from the windows. The other cats find out about this, I'm ruined.
I take it you haven't seen this movie yet.
Oh, Felicia, my precious, my baby. Did Daddy's little honey bun enjoy her tasty treat?
Face it, your image is already ruined. So the following morning, everyone takes part in the daily ritual of waking up and they already have outlets set up for him. Anyway, we see Stuart minding his own business when, uh-oh. You'd think they'd be more careful now that there's a mouse in the house. Otherwise they'd avoid stuff like this.
Ow! Somebody please help me! Stuart! I'm okay, Mom.
Well, I think we've all learned an important lesson here.
Every year, some ignorant kid takes a ride in a clothes dryer just like this one. If you think it's smart to climb in a dryer, you're really all wet.
So later they go shopping at a toy store because the family is coming over, and we're also going to find clothes for Stuart. While out, we learn that George likes boats and that there's a boat race coming up. However, he hasn't finished the boat he was currently making.
I'm not so good at the racing part.
So what? Doesn't matter about winning. You try like heck and you have fun.
It's fun to finish last.
Wow, the boy has no confidence at all. As for Stuart, it looks like he's taking fashion tips from Ken's cousin Ben.
How do I look?
Like a geek. Eventually the family comes over and everyone's happy because today they get to meet the newest little of the family.
Attention, everybody. We'd like to introduce you to someone.
This is Stuart.
Hello?
What in nature have you been screwing with? Aside from the typical what the heck is that look I was hoping for, they quickly warm up to him. So much so that it even prompts Stuart to make one of his famous friendship speeches.
In the orphanage, we used to tell fairy tales of finding our families and having a party like this. A party with cakes and presents and all varieties of meatloaf. But this must be the nicest family in the world, I think. So I just wanted to thank each of you. Because now I know. Fairy tales are real.
Well said. How old are you again? Sally George isn't buying into the whole thing.
Are you all nuts? Bicycles and bowling balls? How's he gonna toss a baseball? How is he gonna do any of those things? He's not my brother. He's a mouse.
Ouch! Kid, I understand he's just a mouse, but he's still a person. Well, person as far as this universe goes, but still, I'm sure there's a way to get around that. We then bring up this little piece of plot point, which I'm sure could be easily resolved in no time.
It's out of the question, and it's against the rules. Besides, it's very hard to track mouse families. They're not very good with paperwork.
Not very good paperwork? Bull crap! How can you not have paperwork on this kid? I mean, what? You weren't told anything when he was brought in? I'm sure that's stuff you need to know and have on hand. How can nobody do such a thing? Back home, Snowbell gets a visit from his friend, Monty the Mouth. I assume he's called that because he eats a lot.
Go away, there's no food here.
Please. You know, I'm not picky as long as it ain't meatloaf. That stuff gives me gas.
Charming. Eventually, Monty finds Stuart, and when Stuart blasts about how he's Snowbell's owner now, he breaks out.
A mouse with a pet! I'm gonna kill you!
So one Tom and Jerry antic later, Stuart makes it into George's toy room, and holy crap does he have quite the room.
What are you doing here?
So not only did they leave Stuart alone in the house, but also George. I don't know how old these kids are, but they seem young enough to me where they shouldn't be left alone.
This is incredible. It's like being in a real live Western.
Howdy, partner. Draw, you lily-livered, yellow-bellied son of a one-eyed prairie dog!
Funny you should mention the Wild West.
Come on, run! You can dance better than that!
Can we play with it? Please, 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 please?
Oh no, he's gonna get run over. What will we do?
It's just a toy train.
And just like that, George is happy with Stuart as a brother. Just the friendship speech took a while to kick in. Which brings us back to the boat race subplot, as Stuart discovers the unfinished boat, and with a little encouragement, they get right onto it.
We'll be ready.
We later see Snowbell get taken to a cat named Smokey, who is said can fix any kind of problem.
What is it now? Snowbell? Now there's a manly name.
Oh no, it's the Russian kitten from Cats and Dogs! He's come back as an adult and is in the Mafia now! No fooling. This cat acts like he's in the freaking Mafia, and he's running it!
That's sick. A cat can't have a rodent for a master. I mean, what's this world coming to? It's against the laws of nature.
Why, next thing you know, cats will be getting along with dogs or something. The nerve of it all. This is another thing I don't get. If it's against nature for things like this to occur, why are mice able to do the daily human things like being in orphanages, or as we later see, even shop for food? Why don't we know more about how they live, or if they live in their own little communities? Plot hole movie. Please address it. So the day of the boat races come and everything looks like it's smooth sailing for George.
Gee, George, what did you do? Get that out of a cereal box?
Oh great, a snobby rich kid. Don't you just hate those? I certainly do.
I don't like that child.
So of all the stupid things a human can say to a mouse, this is it.
Stuart, did you get the remote?
Aye, Captain.
Yes, have a mouse fetch the all-important remote to your boat. I'm sure the weight and size of the device won't overwhelm that of the mouse and cause him to, uh-oh.
Look out, sir!
I broke it!
So George goes emo over a broken remote, prompting some dad dialogue about how he shouldn't be so hard on himself and that they should just go home.
George!
Stuart!
Hey, Stuart's sailing the boat. How is that possible? I don't know how model boats are made, but I'm sure there's nothing in there that allows the rudder to be controlled with a steering wheel, especially if the rudder is controlled by remote. How does this even happen?
Hope that mouse can swim.
Quick question, would you consider this to be animal cruelty or homicide? You be the judge. So after some melodramatic moments, Stuart wins the race. Everyone celebrates and even gets his picture taken with the family. Surely this has been a great day for us all. Nothing can possibly ruin.
Very sorry to disturb you at your lovely abode. Where are his parents?
Whoa, boy. Alright, well, at least we know now that Marty didn't get turned into a mouse by Doc Brown. But how does this explain their existence? Does this further prove that mice in this world are just naturally intelligent? Or is it a lab experiment gone wrong? Tell us, movie! Tell us! A friend of mine even joked about how this movie had a tie-in to Secret of Nymph. Makes sense, because where else did the intelligent mice come from? So, really, who knows?
You're gonna see some serious shit.
So they claim they're Stuart's parents. The Littles at first don't think it's true, but eventually decide that for the goodness of his well-being, they give him up.
You want me to leave?
No. Oh, dear. We just want what's best for you.
But Stuart lives here. This stinks.
Oh, he'll make a great actor one day. One day.
Hey! Taxi! Ah! What's a mouse have to do to get a cab in this city?
Ah, ha, 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 yeah. So they say goodbye, George gives them the Roadster, and they somehow are able to drive that, even though it's also remote controlled.
They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling and trying to catch me riding dirty, 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 trying to catch me riding dirty.
So sometime later, Mrs. Keeper, yeah, real original there, comes over to inform them of something, and this is where things get really stupid.
Because they died years ago. Which part is confusing you?
Stuart's parents came and took him away 3 days ago.
3 days ago? Stuart's parents died in a tragic cream mushroom soup incident years ago. I just told you.
And you couldn't have found this out any sooner. Why? You waited until now to tell them this? Furthermore, how come you two didn't do a better job in looking into the matter? Oh sure, you asked for information earlier, but you couldn't have done it again? I mean, I would, because I wouldn't want my adopted son to be taken away by complete strangers posing as his parents. So they call the police, who are absolutely useless when it comes to finding mice, and even bring up some pointless crap that nobody cares about.
This one kept me awake for weeks.
Oh!
As for the cats, they hear about what is going on and they decide to kill Stuart.
Stuart Little gets scratched tonight.
And by scratch, I mean kill. Because we can't say kill in a children's movie, can we? So the fake father returns, having been told to bring Stuart over to them, but the mother apparently doesn't want to go through with it for some reason, and so they just tell the truth.
You lied and cheated?
Yes!
You took me away from the Littles, just when we were all so happy.
Yes!
That's wonderful! I'm not a Stout, I'm a Little! I'm Stuart Little! I'm Stuart Little!
Boy, he's certainly taken the whole kidnapped and being lied to thing quite well. So he says goodbye while also taking the roadster, as the Littles make plans to go find Stuart on their own.
There's no picture. We need a picture of Stuart.
The family photo.
Meanwhile, Stuart foolishly goes through Central Park instead of doing the smart thing and finding a policeman. And he's supposed to be the smart child.
You must be Stuart.
Actually, I must be going.
Hey! Oh, we got him! I got him, Smokey! No, I got him! No,
Wow, a toy car outrunning a bunch of cats. I think I've seen it all. So he somehow survives, despite being a mouse that can't swim. Where'd the logic in this movie go, I don't know. The Littles make their move as they all go out to find Stuart, but oh, the irony. Stuart makes it home only to find it completely deserted. Well, except for Snowbell, of course.
Where'd they go?
Movies, I think. I hate to have to tell you this, but they're celebrating.
Celebrating what?
They were just so happy to get rid of you.
You lie!
Mrs. Little said, "Who wants to look at that face anymore?"
So Stuart, all heartbroken, decides to leave. Shortly thereafter, we see how miserable life is for George.
If we don't find Stuart, it's gonna break his heart.
As for Snowbell, Monty informs him about how Stuart is in the park, so they go after him. Snowbell finds Stuart first, and rather than help with killing him, he just takes him elsewhere to tell him the whole truth.
I'm doing this for the Littles, all right? They love you. George loves you. They're all miserable without you. I know what I said. I lied!
And of course, it isn't long before the rest of the cats show up. Snowbell tries to convince them to lay off, but they don't listen.
Think you have to look alike to be family? You don't have to look alike. You don't even have to like each other. Look at Snowbell. He hates me, and still, he's trying to save me. And that is what family is all about.
Nice. And their response?
Scratch them both.
Both? It's me you want. Come and get me.
Eventually, they all gather to that one branch where Snowball can do that one thing that I like in this movie. Hone them all!
Not bad for a house cat.
Not bad for a dead house cat.
Oh no! Who could possibly save Snowbell from the final boss?
Hey, Smokey! His name is Snowbell.
So Smokey is defeated, Snowbell gets Stuart back home, in which everyone is happy, and they can finally resume their lives. The end. But first, our short epilogue.
Tell me 1 + 1 is 2. Show me all the things that you can do.
This movie wasn't quite as bad as I thought it would be. Yes, it was cheesy and stupid, but to be honest, it could have been a lot worse. Most of the problems lied with how the world works and how it flows with the story. The morals are there and good, but it's confusing when you have to consider how and why mice are allowed to do these things. Character-wise, there's really nothing special about these characters, and Stuart just acts and sounds way older than he should be. Special effect-wise, it wasn't quite bad, actually. Lip-syncing and facial expressions are always good, but the CGI mouse just doesn't bite for me. I say just rent the movie and see for yourself. I mean, your children might like it at least. Well, that's all I got for now. Until next time, I'm the Media Hunter.
I have a dream that everywhere I go, most everyone
care.
This is Sparta!